Whiteboard lesbian scientist here, and we're gonna talk about shaping today, which is part of applied behavior analysis and the science of learning and behavior. If you're a dog trainer, you definitely do this. If you don't, then you need to reconsider being a dog trainer, because this is the main form that we teach animals what we want them to do. Shaping is to teach new behaviors by reinforcing successive approximations of the target behavior. I want to be honest with you guys. I know this is in the middle of the video, but I had some recent brain trauma, and communication has become very difficult for me. A lot of times I can't find the right words. Sentences don't always quite make sense, and yet I'm still trying to do these videos also to help me. Even though I know this definition, I might still write it up there because my brain in the moment can't remember it or can't speak it correctly. So forgive me as we're doing this and you hear me talk and I'm not the same. It's because I'm not the same, and I do have these communication difficulties. So with that, I guess I'm shaping my behavior by practicing doing these videos that I love to do on science. I'm just not as sharp as I once was, and it is what it is. I'm gonna keep trying. It means sometimes I cut these videos more than I needed to in the past. But, so now we're gonna talk about doing a task analysis, right? That's the word for loose leash walking. Something a lot of people struggle with. Sometimes it's the reason why alternative equipment is used when it doesn't always have to, it doesn't actually have to be used at all, because you can break loose leash walking down to really its small component parts. Most dogs, or all dogs for the most part, don't just know how to walk on a leash, especially if you're getting a shelter dog. You don't know what their history is. And then as puppies, they learn and grow with shaping on how to walk on a leash. Now this is just one example, no, two examples of how to do loose leash walking, but in all reality, there's at least 10 to 15 more different ways you can teach leash skills and walking skills. So, we assume that the harness and the collar is on because we already did a task analysis on that. So this is the task analysis for loose leash walking. Clip the leash. That could be 2 to 3 steps, no joke, if a dog is a little shy about you reaching down to clip it on a collar or on a harness. So if you need to add more steps to make them more comfortable, then please do it. This is a task analysis. You're breaking down all the skills necessary for dogs to walk on a leash. And clipping the leash is one of them, and some dogs are scared of that. Start in a distraction-free area. Do not go to some crowded park or downtown to start teaching your dog how to walk on a leash. Do it with the least amount of distractions possible so that you're setting them up for success. For instance, you could walk around a home with a leash on a dog and teaching it not to pull. And so, well, I guess you can teach a dead man not to pull. So I guess you're teaching them to walk with slack on the leash. Also, use long leads. Dogs love to smell and sniff, and that's okay because the walk is for them. Of course, sometimes they need to be close to you for various reasons, and you can teach that as well using shaping. But we're just kind of talking in general, a dog not having too much problems, just learning through shaping. And we're breaking it down with the task analysis with my friend Lark here. So 2 ways. One, you can set up visual prompts, and I can show you what that looks like with cones or containers or boxes, whatever you want it to be. I'll show you that in a minute. That's my water. Yes, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, you're so sweet. Yeah, I had to teach you loose leash walking, huh? Because you're over 100 pounds and pulling would not be a thing. All right, or you begin in taking steps. Get down, you're sweet. So you take a step, the dog takes a step. Immediate click, marker, you say yes, you say okay, you say you rock, whatever it is you're gonna say to mark that dog did a really good thing. And then you reward them with a high value treat, because this is a new skill. You should be using high value treats, not necessarily kibble, hot dog or cool treat. Freeze-dried, anything, and they make freeze-dried little minnows. My dogs love them, and that is one of their high-value treats. So yeah, take a step. Dog takes a step, immediate reward, high value, not kibble. Unless they absolutely love their kibble, then fine, whatever works for the dog. The dog decides what is reinforcing to them. So if they're not being reinforced and then they go off and do something else and their behavior is not increasing, then it's not reinforcing to the dog. Anyway, you continue with 1 step, 1 mark and reward, and then slowly increase your steps as your dog walks without tension on the leash. So that doesn't mean you go from 1 step to 10 steps. It means you go from 1 to 2, and maybe 2 to 4, and then maybe 4 to 8, things like that. With the visual markers, they're spaced apart, maybe 2 strides or so to start with. You click and mark at every visual prompt as your dog gets to that mark every time. So even if they're not doing it perfectly, it doesn't matter. As soon as they are on that mark, click, treat, bam, they eventually figure out it's a game, and every time they show up to that box, I say box over there because I have several boxes, or a cone, I have a cone over there too. Every time they're gonna figure out when they get to that visual prompt that they're going to get a treat. So that's gonna slow them down, and they're gonna be really thinking about their walking with you. Every time, eventually they catch on to the game, and you slowly reduce marks until there is just the beginning and the ending. And you do that for a little while to make sure they really get it, and then you can try it without the visual prompts. But some dogs, like my Newfie here, needed some marks to really slow down her walking, because God, 1 stride of hers is like 5 of mine. So I had to use some visual prompts. It worked. She's a great walker now. She's pretty incredible. And same with our Pity friend here. He loved to pull initially. I also taught him to pull because he pulls sleds. Anyway, so you teach the dog what you want them to do, not constant no's or punishment. I don't need to yank that leash. No, no, no. I don't need to put something on them. I just need to do a task analysis and teach them. And guess what? If this many steps didn't work, then I would break it down to 10 steps or 15 steps. Wherever that breakdown is, break it down into its component steps. Don't just give up in that your dog can't do such and such. No, the burden's on us for teaching. So how many steps does it take to teach your dog how to loose leash walk? Here's 2 ways. And again, this is called a task analysis, where you break the skills down. It is so great to do that, where you can really understand how your dog learns. So that's it for me on some shaping examples using task analysis. And this is why I say I'm an applied behavior analysis trainer, not just positive reinforcement. Now, positive reinforcement is a part of this. Obviously, that's the reward, the reinforcement. I'm giving them something that they want that then hopefully will increase their behavior, which is loose leash walking as we go along. But that, as you can tell, is not the only thing that I'm using in my toolbox to teach a dog this skill. I'm the whiteboard lesbian scientist, and thank you for coming to this talk. Lark appreciates it. So shaping and using task analysis. You can do that with recall, something all of us want our dogs to learn for a variety of reasons, most importantly, safety. So you can break this down in a number of ways, and this is just one way you can teach this using shaping. There's like 10 other ways to teach recall. I'm just trying to explain, here's how you can break down these skills into the component parts and shape it. So recall, start in a low distraction environment. I start teaching recall inside my home, especially when there's not a lot going on, right? The dog starts to come towards you naturally. Maybe you entered a room. It was a cue for the dog to get up and come see you. I would then add to click and reward, whatever the reinforcer is, which again, use high value treats, not just kibble, unless kibble's the thing. I always, with new skills, tend to use higher value treats than just kibble. All right, then I toss the treat away to reset so that they'll want to come back to me again. And again, I keep doing this until they're consistently going to get the treat, coming back to me. Going to get the treat, coming back to me. They're already learning those early things of recall, right? Then we add the cue. As they start to come toward us, we say come, or accio, or whatever you want their come to be. And as the dog is already moving towards you, that's important. So then you've added this cue in, you toss the treat away, you leave the room, you come back, you say come, you sit down, the dog's somewhere else, you say come, just start building in that automatic behavior that when you say come, they know they're getting that click and that treat reward, or you're saying yes, or you're saying okay, and giving them that reinforcer. Once dog comes on cue, within, I would say 5 feet, 6 feet, 10 feet, whatever in the house, and increase the distractions. Do it in the kitchen. Do it where kids are. Do it in the garage. Go outside. Start doing it outside on a long lead. Once can come with distractions, then you shape the distance. You don't automatically do distraction and distance. And this is where I get those brain farts that I was talking about. Those are separate things to shape, right? So you add in more and more distractions. I do little dances and stuff when I'm doing stay, just to throw them off and do janky things to make sure that they can stay in their position. But you do not do distraction and distance at the same time. You master distance or distractions first and then go to distance. And again, I'm someone who follows leash laws pretty stringently, as we all should. And I have 50-foot leads, I have 100 feet, 20 feet, 15, I got them all. And I often teach come on those leads out when I'm hiking or just outside, when we're taking walks, when we're going down a sidewalk. I always want them to be able to come when I ask them to. And this is the way that I teach it. So once you come with distractions, they can do with kids around, maybe that you've done it at the park on a long lead, add in that distance the further away. Maybe you started with a 10-foot lead, then you went to 15, 20, 30, 50, 100. You can shape all of those things. You do this until it's consistent across all environments. So you can't just assume because you go out front and your dog can do this skill that then you can go on a hike and the dog can do that skill. No, you need to teach in all these environments that you're wanting them to do it. Teach it in a similar way so that they understand what you're asking them to do and what come means. And again, this is shaping and it's task analysis. This is applied behavior analysis. This is not just positive reinforcement training. Sure, there is that positive reinforcement that comes, right? Click or yay, you did it, or whatever, social praise. Sure, that's the positive reinforcement part. You're adding a stimulus to increase the probability of behavior to occur again. So you're increasing the probability that when you say come, that dog will come. But it's not just positive reinforcement, it's shaping and it's task analysis. So this is why I say I'm an applied behavior analysis ABA trainer. All right, again, I already talked about long lead. You can do that. And this is how you get a solid recall and make sure you pay them, reward them, reinforce them for coming. I had one dog, he's sleeping over there, so I'm pointing at him. He was not motivated by treats at all when we were hiking, but he loved sticks. So his reinforcer to go 50 feet away from me and come back was a stick, because the learner decides what the reinforcer is. You're just presenting them to see if their behavior increases, but it's them that decides. Ultimately, not you. So anyway, I start in the home, backyard, driveway, park, Home Depot, Tractor Supply, middle of the woods, all these things. The steps can be pretty similar, but this is just simple shaping and using task analysis. And something we should all be doing is breaking down these skills that we want these dogs to learn and making sure we have an effective reinforcement system in place.